My name is Mario Francis Thumudo Jr. I rank as a musician second class aboard the USS Missouri. Most of them were fun, you know, a couple of battles, but we'd go up to the fantail and play a noon concert out at sea. And at night we might play a concert, and we'd play in the wardroom at night for dinner. Not constantly, but maybe once a week. We had an admiral at that time, Admiral Holloway, and he liked music, so we'd go in the passageway, and there'd be a little small group playing music for him. And then when his birthday came, we had to play happy birthday to him. But it was a lot of fun. We'd play every time we refuel at sea, or refuel tankers, or destroyers. The band was set up and played coming into port from out to sea. I think the weirdest thing I ever had on the ship as far as playing was, I think it was a French ship that passed 2 miles to our port side, I guess it was, and we played the French national anthem. I don't know if they could hear us or not, but we played colors as the ship's passing at night. But then I guess the worst thing was, it was the president of Korea, I think his name was Sigmund Reed. He wanted to come aboard the ship, and it was really, really cold. It was windy, and spray was coming up on the deck, and we were trying to play. We had our gloves cut so we could fingertips snowing, and playing the reed instrument, the reed kept on freezing up on me, and not only me, the rest of the guys. But I felt sorry for the Marine guy because they had to stay at Present Islands all that time. You can see these poor guys, their arms wanted to fall. But that was about the worst I think I ever played was in the cold. It was really whipping and cold. But he had to visit, I guess. We played in Hawaii. We played in Hawaii, which was a pleasant. In Hawaii, we combined our band with the Hawaiian band. I can't think what the name of the band was, and there was another band. So we had like a battle of music, which was fun. That always is fun. Well, they loved it. They liked it. You know, I don't say everybody in the ship liked it. You know, but some guys that like musicians. You know, the musicians had good duty. We had open gangway, but you know, with the open gangway came like if we were in a foreign country and any dignitaries came on, we had to play for the tea parties, and our chief always says, "Get off the ship and hide." You know, God bless him. Yeah, it was most of the ship we get along with fairly well. Yeah. But there were a few that, you know, but too few. I think when we came into L.A., we went up the ship and played in L.A. But most of the time, we were like in a foreign country. We were in England. The concerts we played were all in the ship. They were for parties for dignitaries. We played a lot of that. The band, we played a lot of marches, a lot of parades, an awful lot of parades. The best parade I always remember was on Flag Day in 1951, I think it was. We were in New York to play for this great big Flag Day, and we had an enormous Army band ahead of us, 150 pieces or so, and then the Air Force band was behind us. And with about the same amount, when they went off and played, I mean, the world shook. And then we came, my chief said, spread out. And so we spread out maybe about 4 yards away from each other to make us look bigger. And we had one drum, and this was bump. But the people, I guess, felt sorry for us because we had this great big band ahead of us and a great big band behind us. And we worked our butts off playing Anchors Away. Then we played a couple of times at Annapolis for the midshipman graduation. And they also had a band there where we combined both bands. Most of the stuff we played though was basically on the ship except the parades. Our first job as a band, as a unit, was a parade in Silver Springs. Our chief had just made chief, so he was leery about all things in the world. He didn't want to make a mistake, so he made sure that we had no music. Everything that we played had to be memorized, you know. So he was good. Yeah, I guess I don't. I can recall the coming in from any cruise we were on, and we'd be playing, coming to the port, whatever tunes the chief wanted to play, and there would be a mob there, but mostly it was wives of the guys in the ship, so there was a lot of screaming and yelling, but I don't think it was for us. I think it was for the homecoming. But we played, like I say, almost every time we came into a port, no matter what port it was, we played. But our chief was good in a way too. If we were going to a foreign country, he would tell us to get off the ship in a hurry so we'd see if we could get away from playing. But the SPs have rounded us up many times. Yeah. Yeah, we had a compartment. In the compartment we had, the outside perimeter of the compartment was all the bunks where we all slept, and the inside, all the bunks were taken out, so we rehearsed right there. Then we had a little small room. It might have been from here to that wall and about as wide, where we stored all the instruments and gear and music, and had a piano in there. And so we rehearsed it. We set the whole dance band or the concert band and play right in there. And normally have 30, 40 guys listening. At the concerts, we probably drew 100 or so every concert we played. And they were good. They were good concerts. We even played them at night. We used to have little stand lights, you know, you see. We clip it onto our white hat so we could read the music. We would play in the middle of the night. And we played before the movies. Not all the time, but once in a while. All depends. If the chief felt we needed more rehearsing, he'd pull that. Overall, duty was good. It was excellent duty. I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed all the friendships I made there. I've kept every one of the guys that were in my unit, my band, and plus other guys on the ship, have been a close unit for all those years, you know. It's been it's been a good ride. It's been a good ride. I got a very dear friend. He just recently had a heart attack. His name's Norm Clem. He was, they called us drumstick brothers because I was 119 pounds and I think it was 118. But he didn't like to eat. He was just a hamburger man. But the only thing he liked for breakfast would be beans. So on Saturday morning, I'd have to shake him awake to go get his beans for breakfast. Then he'd get back and the order of the day would be something like trice-up all bunks, which I don't know if they know what that means, but the bottom bunk, you pick it up on an angle and flip the chain over so that you can sweep and clean underneath it. So when they called for that order, he'd sneak into that bunk and I'd trice him up so he could stay in bed and sleep. Now, he did that, I don't know how long, but he was the funniest thing. You know. We were playing the saxophone one night. We all got, not all of us, but a goodly portion of us got a little high on sake. And so when we came back to the band room, which was right in the middle of the bass, Gus, he's no longer with us, he asked me, he says, "Aren't you hungry?" I said, "Sure." He said, "What do we get to eat?" So I think it was Don, myself, and Gus. So we looked in the closets, and there was a carton of Aunt Jemima pancakes, the powder, and a bottle of whiskey. So I said, "What you got to do is mix them together." So we mixed the whiskey and the pancakes together, and I fried it. Well, by that time I was tired, so I just laid down to sleep, and the pancakes and the booze, they froze like a piece of concrete in this frying pan. So the next morning when the chief, we very seldom played colors. The chief wanted to play colors, so he couldn't find me, Don, or Gus, and somebody said, "I think he's in the band room," and there we were, still there in the band room, out like a light. I think the chief, if it hadn't been that Gus was our lead trumpet player, he probably would have put us on captain's mast, but he bypassed. But that's one of the funny things. That'll always stick in my mind. Yeah. Norm, Clem, and I was close to all the guys, but I was about as close to Norm as a brother. And when he was walking down the gangway and off down to Pier 7 with his sea bag. I cried. Yeah. Yeah, that was very difficult, leaving the group. Yeah. But that time we said we'd meet again in 30, 35 years, and it was 33 years later we met the first time. Yeah. It was at a reunion in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And we stayed, not all the guys were there, don't get me wrong, but out of the 26, not including the chiefs, some had been 23 guys, I think we'd have about 15 or 16 of them, you know. Just enough to have a full dance band and play for these parties. We'd play, we'd have a Thursday night rehearsal, we'd play a noon concert, then we'd play the beer bash, which is tonight. But now I miss the playing aspect, but I'm able to see more of the community now because I don't have all the other duties involved. I didn't see guys, I saw all kids. When I looked around, I saw every one of them looked like they were 18, 19 years old again. Yeah. In fact, Norm, this harder guy, he cried this time because he couldn't believe it, you know. We played, the first song we played was Missouri Waltz, you know. And then we went to the regular Navy charts, a little Navy song. But that was pretty heartrending. It really was, you know. But like I said, it was an awfully close group. In fact, probably closer than any other band they had, because most of the bands out at sea in those days, there was a band and one guy's tour would be up and they'd replace it. So they replace these guys one by one, so it's never a full unit, you know. I may come on and meet you today and you were gone next week, you were discharged. But this group came in as a unit. They all enlisted about the same time, so we stayed together. And we had one guy, the drummer we had was a gentleman, guy by the name of John Bromley. He was one of the best drummers I ever worked with in my life. And just before going to Korea, we were playing a game, I don't know what they call it, buck-buck. I don't know if you've heard of buck-buck. It's a game where one guy stands against a tree and one guy puts his shoulder against, then you jump in their back to see when you collapse the group. Well, about 4 guys jumped in his back and it tore his knee up. In fact, it's still, this is 63 years ago or so, and he still can't really walk good. So he didn't make the trip with us because he wasn't able to walk up and down the ladders anymore. It was awful losing him because he was such a perfectionist behind the drums. Yeah. But his replacement did a hell of a job. But it's been, I can tell you, it's been a hell of a ride.